It's Friday! That means it's a fresh new episode of Spin Sessions with myself, Vic Pardal. And trust me, this is a week that you do not want to miss out. So make sure you hook up onto someone's free Wi-Fi because you most definitely want to watch this episode. I've invited Monde from Wheelz and Smoke, Stroke, sort of MSA, and a whole bunch of in between with a lot of history and nothing held back. Best you watch and listen super closely. Today on Spin Sessions, ladies and gentlemen, uncles, aunties, and your grandmothers too, I will be having a serious lowdown conversation with the most influential Monde. What's happening, Monde? How are you keeping? Thank you so very much for joining us. I have been awaiting this for many a week. Welcome to Spin Sessions HQ.
Maximum respect. I'm honored to be here.
It's an honor, and I'm truly blessed to have you here because we might have to break this into several episodes because me and you have got so much to talk about.
I'm not sure about that.
No, I promise you, me and you got plenty. Actually, I'm trying to figure out where to start. Should we start a little bit of history? Should we start at the present? Should we start in the future? Because spinning has got a wealth of information right across those planes. But I'm going to start where your heart is. Let's talk about Wheelz and Smoke. Monde, you were the first promoter to actively build a purpose-built spin pitch in South Africa. It is Wheelz and Smoke based out in the south of Joburg. Tell us about your journey from beginning to the establishment that it is now.
Yeah. Monde Hashe and spinning.
It's got history.
Yeah. It started long back, man. I can't remember when exactly, but I moved from Cape Town after I completed my studies in 2001.
To GP.
To Johannesburg, yeah. By then, there was no spinning place, not even ShareWorld.
Nothing.
We used to go to illegal spinnings in the streets,
Where it all started.
Yeah, but if I started from there, it's going to take us 2 days. But how I got involved in spinning, it started as a spectator when I moved to Joburg, following spinning everywhere it is in the streets or in the there was this place Midval. It was the only place we could go to that could make sense about spinning long then.
Okay.
And in 2008 I started my business as a land surveyor. I'm a land surveyor by profession. I own my own practice, my own business. 2008 I was approached by a gentleman called Sobuza, a best friend of mine. How he got to approach me, Temba, Bubesi, and Tafloyd, aka Tafloyd, which is Bafana Malevo.
Yeah, boy.
Yes.
Turbocharged 325.
Got a place in Jabulani. It's called Jabulani Amphitheater.
Okay.
They got a letter there from a guy who was managing the theater or the entire stadium. He gave us permission, or them permission, to use Jabulani Amphitheater. But they had a problem. They did not have funds because Jabulani back then was dilapidated, it was not used, and people had access to it, taking everything they could.
Sure.
Sopuza approached me. He introduced me formally for the first time to Tafloyd, Bubesi and Mtizo. Why me? We've been following spinning together with Usopuza back then. He understood the passion I have for spinning as a spectator, but then guys needed help, and Sopuza knew me as a businessman and as a person who could willingly assist.
Okay.
I went to visit the place, we had a meeting. I agreed on the spot.
Sure.
I was happy to be part of spinning in any form.
Okay.
So by being invited as an investor, because that's how I was invited to be part of Wheel Spinners,
Okay.
which was myself, Temba, Floyd, and Sopuza.
Okay, so this was, I just want to inform the viewers, this was after West Bank Raceway, 2008, 2009.
Correct.
Okay.
2008.
Okay.
We established Wheel Spinners to run the operations in Jabulani amphitheater, because we had to have a body as a custodian.
Yeah.
So I put money, my business put money there. We built a concrete pitch. We had a spinning event. Man, within 30 minutes, I think after the third or fourth car, everything was like, we had the worst storm ever, windstorm,
sure.
no, not rain. You know, that whole concrete pitch blew up. It dug.
Wow.
And there was no more spinning. In each car that went in, it was just dust.
Sure.
But yes, we managed to run our event until it was finished. And we went back to the drawing room. We saw a need to put tar now.
Yeah.
And the money that I had invested for that concrete did not come back to me, because now we had to put tar using the same money, and it was not enough. It was not even half of the cost of the tar.
Because tar is very expensive.
Correct. And they had no money. I again put money from my business
To the tarring of the surface.
to tar the Jabulani amphitheater. And then we went on advertising and marketing the event. 4 days before the event, we were introduced to Jock.
Okay. Which came into play in 2008 only.
Correct, in 2008, early 2008. We did our first event in Jabulani amphitheater. There was no Jock, and it was a very successful event. 4 days before the event, we are sent letters, police, that the event is not going to take place. You must go present at Jock, and Jock only sits on Thursdays.
Yes.
We knew about it on Wednesday. We must go present at Jock on Thursday. The event is on Saturday.
I just want to pause. I want to inform the viewers. So, for y'all that don't know what a jock is, it's basically, as a promoter, Monde as a promoter, or anybody as a promoter, if you want to have an event with 14 people or more, you actually physically have to ask and request the permission of the city to have the event. That is when you hear people talk about Jock on social media, JOC, that is what it is. People have a meeting every Thursday. You as a promoter need to go then present your event to Jock. You walk into a huge room. There are about 16 to 18 different people representing different bodies of governmental bodies of the city, including police, traffic, fire, marketing, environmental, refuge. You literally present to all those bodies, and if they are not happy with your presentation, they will not give you the go-ahead for your event, which makes your event illegal if you go through with it. And if you go through with an illegal event, you will get a call from, I think, I stand to be corrected, Colonel Kruger, which is out in John Foster Square. He's a big man with a lot of authority, and you definitely don't want to show up on his radar. So that is what Monde is referring to as Jock. Please continue.
Yeah, we were introduced to them, and we were told that the event is not going to take place if we don't present to Jock. And I knew from that point that the event is not going to take place irrespective of us presenting at Jock or not. This is just a formal way of saying sorry.
This ain't gonna happen. Okay.
Yes. We went to Jock. Before we went to Jock, we went to Chief Albert Lutuli house, ANC house, to now complain. We made it political and said, no, these white people. And we didn't know Jock. We didn't know who is in the panel of Jock, but we just politicized it and made it, white against black-owned sport, perceived black-owned sport. I guess sport does not belong to any race.
No race, color, or nation, bro.
But yeah. We went and presented at Jock, myself, Temba, Floyd, and ANC gave us a guy from the Chief Albert Lutuli house who decided to dress on ANC pants, man, from the shoe to the hood. Everything was just ANC.
Ripping hard, bro,
yes.
ripping hard.
And when we got there, the Oak saw a person he knows, and he was like, no, I'm not going in there. So, we were like, and this guy, we put so much trust in him, and now he's not going in here. Anyway, we went and presented, but we fought there. We fought big time. We were told the event is not going to happen. We did not have a document we were presenting by means of paper, And at Jock, you use a file. There is a file, a proper file. Yes.
Big file, yeah.
And, we pointed fingers at them. We threatened them. You're calling them with names.
Sure.
Requesting their addresses, telling them that we're going to spin in front of their
no
doorsteps. It was up to that level of
aggression.
I've invested so much, and now you're telling me the event is not going to happen. How am I going to get or recoup my money back? But it was not about me. It was about us as wheel spinners, because we all invested either by monetary value or by time spent or by physical work that is put on the building of that Jabulani amphitheater, which we all contributed equally. So the event was stopped. On Saturday, we woke up early. We convinced ourselves that the event is going to happen. Sure. When we got there, I think Bubesi was the first or Temba. So he called us telling us that, yeah, guys, there are hippos, not one, but many. Closing down amphitheater in all entrances. So the event is definitely not going to take place. Sure. We lost. I lost money. There was no other place then. And I think Suli or Yukes got a place, and I think it's a tennis court at a school somewhere here by Eye of Africa. What's that area called? Aikenhof area. Then we would go and spin there at that school. And then Steve found a place in Maritzburg. Showgrounds, tennis courts there. Mm-hmm. They were spinning there, but the pitch was not so lekker. Steve came to me again with Floyd and Bubesi.
Sure.
Asking me to invest.
Sure. You're the banker here, man.
By then, I was still young, man, and I had money, and I did not think twice. I was like, because I love spinning so much, there is no second thinking here. I will help you, Steve. I put money.
Which pitch?
Same place, Maritzburg, showgrounds. Okay. As you turn left, there are showgrounds off the highway.
All right.
Same thing happened to him. The event was closed down, or he was told that is not designated for spinning. No more spinning, And yes, we were young. We were fools or foolish then, and we were driven by anger. because we were seen as poorers, spinning belongs to these hooligans. And as a professional who came into spinning, my first move was to make sure that spinning is safe.
Absolutely.
Because I could not associate myself with spinning. I am a professional who is regulated by code of ethics. I am registered as a professional in South Africa, not with one institute, but by many institutes.
Okay.
Involving myself with this so-called gangsterism sport,
That was seen like
it still is, let us be fair. It's something.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
We will get there. Okay, cool. But I had to be clear myself, because I was asked question about involving myself with this thing, But I was clear about what I'm doing with spinning as a black professional. Yes, Steve-O's place was closed down and there was no spinning.
No venues.
No venues. We saw a need to establish an association for spinning in South Africa, but the intention was to start in Gauteng and pilot the project and see how it goes, then make it national. The association was called Gauteng Spinning Association.
Otherwise known as GSA. I do remember those days.
Correct. Then I was elected the president of GSA.
So I just want to GSA was the first organization association in spinning to everybody's general knowledge, which was GSA. It was based here in Gauteng Spinners Association, and this was born, if I remember, 2009, 2010.
End of 2008, 2009. When did we have that event in Kimberly? First ever accredited MSA event that was done by MADS.
So MSA only came into the picture, which we're going to highlight because I definitely want to talk about it. After a whole bunch of several players sat in that square table. MSA was still based out in Midrand. We called it the White House because it was a big White House. And we sat down with the spinners representative, which was Wally Papas at that present time. So if it was the first accredited MSA spinning event in Kimberley, I would put it around the 2010. No, I'm lying. Yeah, 2009, 2010 era during MUDs. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely around that time. Because we do you remember that meeting at MSA?
I remember every meeting we had at MSA.
So I just want to highlight a little bit of that. So GSA was formed, and it was formed out of the ranks of spinners. So a whole bunch of spinners coming together saying, hey guys, we need to organize an organization or association where we can push spinning forward, because we need venues, we need places of safety to practice the sport, and the government or any other institutions is not coming to our aid. GSA was formed with those good intents. In the same year, there was already another entity called WMSA, World of Motorsport, and they had Motorsport South Africa had taken WMSA to court, saying that they couldn't be, for example, for the lack of a better word, they couldn't exercise being another motorsport entity. Motorsport lost that in battle. Motorsport MSA lost that in court, and then they appealed and they lost again twice. In the interim, I just got to highlight, there was another facet of motorsport in our country that walked away from Motorsport South Africa altogether, which was the oval track guys. Oval track guys turned around and said, listen guys, MSA is too expensive, to this, to that, whatever. They had their own share, and they said, listen MSA, we don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to be this sport as unity. We're going to move over to WMSA. What happened was there was a big empty pocket that needed to be filled, because MSA obviously charges fees for permits, for promoters, for club association, for each driver. And now Oval Track had moved over and they had lost a huge amount of income per year. figures are really not of importance here, but they had lost income. At the same time, for whatever reason, spinners as a whole, not just GSA, thought that they needed a higher blessing or an umbrella to fall under for the purposes of trying to acquire aid. When I mean by aid, I'm not saying financial aid, I'm saying like venues and assistance and guidance into pushing spinning forward. So we had this meeting at MSA, GSA was present, Monde was present, and that happened back in 2000, and I think in that era, 2008, 2009. And MSA obviously grabbed onto spinning with both hands. This is obviously my opinion. I don't want to tarnish what really happened. And they grabbed it for many reasons. Also because they realized that this could be a way to supplement the loss of income that they had when the oval track racing moved over to Wamsa.
Yeah.
So they grabbed onto spinners with both hands, and we presented this big meeting at MSA, and MSA was, yeah, sure, no problem, we're going to get a hold of them and we're going to try and push the sport forward. What MSA didn't realize is that obviously most of us as spinners and promoters were maybe, how do you say, not used to, educated or formalized into paying certain fees for having an event, for being a promoter, for being a club, because now you had to pay fees to Motorsport South Africa to be associated to Motorsport South Africa, and if you're a driver, you had to pay your fees to be a registered spinner in MSA. And as much as MSA tried to push that forward, it quickly fell apart within a year or so, because people realized that this wasn't going to work out. They're not used to paying to enter an event or to pay for fees, whatever. But to put record clear, GSA or Gauteng Spinners Association was the first organization to be formed from spinners for spinners for the movement going forward.
Yes.
Continue.
And then GSA was a very strong force. MSA could not have a working relationship with GSA. I was the head. Same things you have explained.
Fees
and
associations,
everything.
monies.
So we told them that you cannot come and tell us what to do here. You must listen to us.
Okay.
We formed GSA because we wanted to work with MSA. We understood then that we cannot have venues because we were struck. That was the purpose. That's why GSA was established.
Okay.
And then immediately when GSA was established, because we are human beings, some people cannot work with others. So there was another force that broke out of GSA.
Okay.
That was called New Nation Spinners. That was
Yes, I remember
established
that.
by Pule M. Then New Nation Spinners was a very small number. That was used by MSA
Okay.
for MSA to push its missions, because Pule M had an event at Maponya Mall. Then there was Wali Papas. Everything
Yeah,
was
I
right.
remember that.
Mall was just made to look good for spinning. There was no safety, nothing. But because now MSA wants to access spinning, and it must access it through an entity or someone who owns spinning. Then they accessed spinning at Maponya Mall. That was the first ever event to have MSA licenses.
And permit and approvals, okay.
Licenses that we did not want as GSA.
And as I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody, but as a general consensus from spinning in that era,
Yes,
we
but
didn't
a
want
certain
it.
entity felt that, no, we must have these licenses. The meetings we had at MSA Kyalami was not one meeting whereby MSA decided to grab spinning. We had many meetings whereby the likes of Steve-O were told straight in their eyes by Wali Papas that I don't like you.
Sure.
because we did not beg. We were not apologetic about spinning. We were telling MSA.
You're standing for your right for
Exactly. But now we lost another leg to hold on because there was this, that is doing exactly what MSA wants.
Okay.
You were there when we were sitting with MSA discussing nationals, regionals. That was not the first meeting.
No. I agree with
The reason why we had the first ever event at Kimberly sanctioned by MSA was because we wanted to test if MSA is going to work with spinning.
Okay.
When we got to Kimberly, if you remember well, we had 2-hour meeting with Wally Papers saying that event is going to be cancelled, is not going to take place. Do you remember?
Sure, yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
Why? Because only 10 or 8 people out of the 35 or 40 spinners had licenses.
For drivers. And they forced it upon. Yes, let's clarify this. So
Do you remember?
Again, I want to clarify this. I just want to clarify because I need everybody to understand. So if you are MSA registered and you're a promoter registered under MSA and your venue is MSA affiliated, then when you have an event, all drivers and spinners need to be registered with MSA, which includes a fee, X amount, whatever it may be. You pay, you get a little, almost looks like a driver's license card, and it says now you're affiliated to MSA. You pay a whole bunch of registration fees. So this is what Monde is referring to, as in they were MSA Motorsport South Africa wanted not to continue with the event because there were only a very little number of drivers that were registered with MSA. The rest of the other drivers, as per normal spinners, were not registered with MSA, and that is why they were trying to stop the event. And I might add you, I think this was the Easter event.
It was in Easter weekend time.
Which, if you don't know, Easter in Kimberly is massive, especially in that era of spinning. We had a previous, I was having a conversation with, I think it was Shanston, but everybody would travel to Easter, will travel to Kimberley in Easter weekend to see who the king of spinning was. Because it was in the middle part of South Africa, people would travel from Joburg, guys would travel up from the coast and would battle during Easter. So this happened at Easter weekend, which was a huge, huge event. Correct.
And by then, it was the New Nation spinners that had those licenses.
The drivers,
the drivers' license, the spinners' licenses. And let me remind you, a spinner's license today, because we fought, is 280 rands. Do you remember how much was it then? 1,500.
Yeah, I remember the battles and the fights or the discussions we had with Motorsport South Africa, trying to say, guys, if you want this to work, you've got to make it affordable. You got to make it attainable. You can't look at spinning as a money-making income thing. You can't. People are not going to support you as an organization if you're going to charge crazy amounts of money to be affiliated.
Because of the number of the crews and the spinners that affiliated with GSA, we couldn't in a year all have events. We all wanted to host. Every crew wanted to host because we thought there was money in spinning. So we decided to group them in threes. All of us as GSA, that was a decision that was made by GSA. That let's have three hosts at Peter Truck Stop. That was the only venue then. But because some did not contribute equally with others, then it got defeated. We felt that now I cannot work so much for this guy who just comes at the last time or day and take everything.
Collect a paycheck.
Yes. Then by that was the introduction of skylines in South Africa.
Oh, the influx of the imports coming mostly from Mozambique and Swaziland.
These spinning in South Africa You will correct me if I'm wrong. But it was only an 8-figure 8 and a donut.
Tire bounce.
And tire bounce. That was spinning in South Africa. And Bubesi coming out of a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Bubeshi, Jeff, and Magesh. Those were the first, like,
Yes,
Oaks trying
but
stunts.
then it was Bubesi. We were going out for Bubesi. We did not know much about Jeff. Jeff was there, but we did not know much about him. Okay? And when spinning came, those guys of Maputo came to South Africa.
Yeah.
The whole spinning game changed.
Yeah.
You like it or you don't like it.
No,
I don't care who you are listening, wherever you are. But spinning in South Africa changed when I brought skylines in South Africa.
Okay.
People never saw a car spinning in between people, using people as
as markers.
And today you see a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
Ask them, where did they see it from? This side park, you spin and you side park another car, you front park another car. It was never seen in South Africa. It comes from Maputo and quality service.
Oh, no mano.
You know, but things like those, spinning in South Africa, I personally also liked BMW, and the whole lot of spinning thought that spinning belongs to a BMW, not another car.
Spinning is for all cars.
By then, Vic, not one BMW, an E30 that was using a multi-valve.
No.
Not one had a V8 engine.
325. It was 325, 325, 323. Uncle Sam was rocking still the 323. He still specializes in 323s. There was maybe one person rocking a 2.9, if that. But multi-valves, V8s came much, much later stage.
People thought spinning belongs to a BMW that says, that goes like 4 pop 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 4 pop 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 pop. Multi-valves did not have that. V8 does not have that. So that was spinning a BMW.
Yeah.
So people felt that I'm selling out spinning by bringing these skylines to show them better spinning.
Or more aggressive and higher
now
powered spinning.
I was selling what belongs to South Africa to the Mozambicans.
Okay. So you were doing some cross-pollination.
Yes. And they did not come once. They came many times at Peter Truck Stop, supporting these events, showing them spinning.
So I just got to highlight some names. Numano, Shushu,
Nuru.
All those oaks coming.
And as a matter of fact, I became a contact, not because I wanted to, but whoever now was hosting at Peter Truck Stop, they were like, Monde, can you please bring those guys? Monde, can you bring those guys? How much does it cost those guys to come from Maputo with turbo cars, to come and play and break their turbos and finish their tires, for me to clap hands and say, thank you, Numano?
Absolutely.
That's what was happening. And when Numano had to be compensated, it was out of my pocket.
Even
not
though it
from
wasn't your
GSA,
event.
even though it was not my event. They all know about that.
Wow.
Not even one paid the skylines. From all those events they attended, I was paying Numano from my pocket. I don't know if I was stupid or what, but if you listened carefully from the beginning, I lost so much in spinning.
I want to say you invested in spinning because even though the money didn't come back to you, it helped build certain platforms, organizations, or personalities like Nomano into the heroes or the drivers that they are now. You haven't stopped investing. You haven't stopped, I don't want to say spending money, I want to use the word investing because to this day, you still invest in your resident spinners at Wheelz and Smoke on a Thursday. So you're still investing. You have built Wheelz and Smoke as a pitch.
In that context, Vic, not only Wheelz and Smoke resident spinners, you come tomorrow, Thursday, you spin. You're well taken care of.
Always, yeah, no
We
doubt.
don't know your name. We don't know your car. We're taking care of spinning.
No, your
We've
hospitality,
been
absolutely.
protecting spinning from day one. Since we started Wheelz and Smoke in 2013, I registered Wheelz and Smoke in 2011. Started
Sure.
operating in 2013.
I still remember you invited me to Wheels and Smoke before you had any event.
Okay,
said,
where we
Vic,
were,
what-
let's go back to
Sorry.
to where we were. Okay, we were talking about the introduction of Skylines, how everything got defeated, GSA. Then I personally felt that I don't have to be here. If my ideas as the president, I'm not doing what I like here. I am presenting my ideas to the guys and then they say yes. The moment we come out of Southgate meeting, we used to have our meetings at the food court in Southgate. The moment we come out of the meetings, you find 5 other meetings held. Then I would go start my car and go home because what we discussed and agreed
Is now being
should
broke.
stand.
Okay.
So now there are other meetings. Yeah, this Monde, he thinks he's money. How did he come into spinning in the first place?
Okay.
And imagine, those are new comers in
Up
spinning.
and comers.
They were not there when we were doing Jabulani, Steve Vo's place and all these other. But now they just hate or dislike because of misinformation. They don't know what they hate. They just hate the name.
Okay.
They hate what I have done for them in South Africa because you like it or not, I don't care who you are, spinning in the world, not in South Africa,
No, for
wouldn't
sure.
be where it is today if it was not for Wheelz and Smoke.
I
I'm
do-
not apologetic about
No.
that.
I will credit you, and I've credited you many times as being the first purpose-built spin venue in South Africa, especially here in Joburg, and the first purpose-built venue where people could come and learn to spin. You know, your Thursday night sessions are cemented in Johannesburg culture and nightlife. Everybody knows what happens at Wheels and Smoke on a Thursday. You know, the pitch is open. You come with a spin car. If you're still learning, it is the best pitch and platform to learn how to spin. And I credit Wheels and Smoke, and I credit what you have achieved with Wheels and Smoke by doing that, because you were and are the first establishment to be purpose-built in South Africa for spinning. And having done that, you have grown a lot of talented drivers, which you well know of.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't want to go there, you know.
No, you must go.
Sometimes
No, it's an open
you just
platform. You
become
must.
emotional
No, you must speak
because
your
of
piece.
where you come from, you know. Spinning, there are many times whereby I just feel like giving up and and
Quant.
quitting everything. I have a family. I have 3 beautiful children. I have a wife, a beautiful wife. I have a business, a very successful business. I have everything that I want to have.
You cannot walk
You know,
away.
I
from
cannot
this.
afford to live sadly because of empty-minded people
Okay.
that only knows how to rev and turn a steering wheel and think they have contributed in spinning.
I've always said that spinning has evolved as a culture through many people's efforts. Obviously, some more stronger or with a heavier wealth of contribution, but spinning has grown from one itself. I'm very proud to say that, you know what, Monde, no one helped us build spinning. You know, FIA International didn't come and say, hey, guys, here's X amount, build yourselves up. Motorsport South Africa never came and said, hey, guys, here's something, here's a venue, build yourself up. Spinning has grown through all of our efforts, promoters, spinners, and fans and followers. Because without them, we would not have the strength and the colorful sport that we do have. And obviously you both as a promoter and more importantly, the founder of Wheels and Smoke has contributed to spinning being so popular, especially in the Joburg area code.
Thank you.
Carry on with your history, because I want to know what sparked off Wheelz and Smoke.
We're going there. We actually there. When then GSA collapsed, because after all these now accusations that I want to do this with spinning, I felt like, yes, that is exactly what I want to do. Because to me, that is constructive spinning. We did not have competitive mind then in spinning. Spinning was just circus, making people happy. It was about the families that clap hands and make those spinners. They were not getting paid. There were no tires. They were using their own monies to make sure spinning is where it is today. I respect them. You don't know how much I respect Da Floyd. He knows.
Yeah.
I respect Bubesi.
As they should be respected.
Because people talk about Sherwold. Back then in Sherwold, when things used to be what? Sherwold was only 10-meter radius.
Tiny.
People were just turning a car, 8 and a 0, and then Bubesi would come out. That was Sherwold spinning.
Yeah. It was the start.
I respect Da Floyd, who contributed financially a lot in Sherwold for spinning, for me to know about spinning. Because without Da Floyd, I'm not saying Floyd is the one that gave birth to spinning.
But his contribution.
He contributed majorly in formal spinning.
Okay.
Why would Floyd decide to go spend his money in Sherwold? He was sick and tired of being chased every now and then by police. He had money. You know, he wanted things to be done right. That was a very good
Business-minded gentleman.
for spinning. He did what he could do. But because he did not care about money and stuff, Sherwold lost it. Because of its own reasons. And then Sherwold was closed down.
Shut down, yeah. I remember that.
Then we did not stop. The same Floyd is the one we did Jabulani with. Because he is the guy I respect in spinning.
Okay.
We worked together because he still wanted to be part of spinning. When GSA collapsed after I resigned as a president, because after I resigned, there was not even one meeting held after that.
Okay.
Forgive me to say, there was no head.
There was no more leader.
Then GSA collapsed automatically. I wanted nothing to do with them, with all of them. Those who talked bad about me and what I wanted to achieve for spinning.
Okay.
I sat down for a year or 2 years without doing nothing about spinning. But because something is driving me from the heart, I stood up and looked for land. I found land. I invited people after I found land, very relevant people in spinning and in business that I thought I could partner with because I couldn't do it alone. I felt that I couldn't do it alone. It did not belong to me. Still today it doesn't. People came, they looked at that felt, they were like, you're dreaming, I don't know where you come from. It's impossible. Not one person, many came and gone. Luckily, I just know their names. I'm fortunate enough they are from here. I would be saying I don't even remember their names.
Sure.
But I still know them because they are from here. Then, this thing, hit me hard. The land is there, it's available, I'm doing nothing because I think I cannot afford it alone. So I really wanted more muscle. I believe that alone I can only do this much. I strongly believe in that. But me and you, with our efforts doubled or put together, we can do this much.
A lot more, agreed.
That was the reason why I wanted to work with relevant people in spinning, not spinners, people who can invest for spinners.
Or invest in the sport.
Or invest in the sport. But don't forget this, what I have just said. The main aim was to invest for the spinners.
For the drivers themselves.
Because there is nowhere where drivers could practice spinning.
Especially not on a safe environment.
Spinning was not a sport then, it was just spinning. So the investment was about a proper spinning or a purposely built spinning arena. We didn't know that spinning can be a sport. We did not have that in mind.
Not at all. Not at those stages.
We only knew about that through MSA for us to be sanctioned, for us to get sponsors, for us to do that, for us to be acknowledged and recognized. For us to get a code, we need to have competitions and be a sport. Mm-hmm.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, Monde has held back absolutely no punches. If you have any questions or statements or comments that you want to share with us on Spin Sessions and in turn share with the spinning world, please hit us up with the inbox, an email, an SMS, or WhatsApp. Hey, hit us up with a telephonic call. We are more than happy to hear from you.